Jana. So today we will discuss about null safety in Dart. So prior to that, understand what is null. Null means no value. No value, nothing exists. Suppose a person without a name, a car without a brand, or string without value, or integer amount without a value. So why do we concern about null safety actually? So consider a scenario. As a developer, you're making an API call and you expect some list in return. And on that list, you are performing some sorting operation. Now suppose a case where backend, there is some issue in the backend and backend is now sending null value. It's not sending actual list. But in an app, you're performing a sorting operation on that, but there is no list. So that sorting operation will be performed on null. As a result, null pointer operation exception will come and app will crash. So that's where null safety is important. And in Dart, we can achieve in a various ways. So let's dig into it. I'll create a variable here first, string name. I'll try to print a name. If you observe here, string name I have created, and by default the variables in the Dart has to be provided a value. Now I'll try to run it. Dart non-nullable variable name must be assigned before it is used. So that means Dart says, see, whatever variables you are creating, you must assign values to them. Without assigning value, I'll give a compile time error. So what I said, Dart, see, I don't know what will be the value. So that said, okay, so you can make it optional. So how can I make it optional? By adding a question mark. So that is a way of saying to the Dart, see, this is a nullable variable. That means it can hold a null value. And if I see the output here, now it will come as a null because we haven't assigned anything here. So that's the one part. Understand null coalescing operator, that is double question mark. So now our name doesn't contain any value. We'll create another variable called display name and I'll assign it a name value. Now we'll check what is the result there. If you see the error, what it says, a value of type string nullable cannot be assigned to a type of string. So this string is mandatory while this is nullable. So we haven't provided any value to it. So that's the reason it is throwing error. So how can we handle it? So null coalescing operator says that's fine. I'll do one thing. If the value is null, I'll assign a fallback value. So I have now assigned a default value to it. Now we'll run the app. Before that, I'll use a display name here. Now once we run the app, default will be shown here and it only works if the name is null. Example like null aware assignment operator. If you have seen the previous example, there we had created another variable. In this example, we will try to assign a value to the same variable if it is null. So now I have assigned it to Jana. So let me reassign this value again. So what do you think, what value will be taken by Jana? There are two values, Jana and Surya. Let me rerun it. That is fine, let me rerun it. Expected to find an operand. Where is this issue? Okay, so it's a Jana. But if you see, right, why didn't Surya got printed? Why Jana printed? So what null aware operator does, it assigns a value only when it is null. But in this case, we have already assigned a value as a Jana. So it will not reassign the value of Surya. If you got the point, we'll move to the third operator, that is null aware access operator. So let me go back to our first example here. So I'll rerun the app now. If you see, my name variable is nullable, so it can contain null values. If you relate to our previous explanation that I told you, that we are expecting some list and on that list I'm performing a sorting operation. The same case here because the list didn't present there. So what I'll do now, I'll try to access some property. Like I'll call, just calculate a name length of this variable. Let's see what happens now. Boom, this is an error. Property length cannot be accessed on nullable string because it's a null. That is correct. What we are doing, we are calling a length on a variable that does not exist. So how we'll tackle it? We'll add a question mark and dot operator. Now we'll run it. So Dart say, okay, I got it. It's a null. In that case, I'll only pass a null value. I'll not do any further operation on that variables. That is null assertion operator. It is called bang operator and it is represented by the exclamation mark. So what is this operator does? So as we can see, we already have a nullable variable and we can print it. Dart knows it's a nullable, that's why it printed as a null. But what this operator says, hey Dart, I'm sure the value can't be null. Dart says okay, that's fine, but let's see the output. What happens? Uncaught error. It's a runtime error and it says unexpected null value. So make sure when you're using bang operator, you are 100% sure that it contains values. So if I assign some value to this name operator now, Jana, it will not throw error because it knows this value can't be null. Let's move to our last operator, that last keyword, sorry, it's a late. How to use late? Now I'll remove this code. Late is a way of saying to the Dart, hey Dart, I have some variables, but I don't know the value yet. I'll assign the values laterwards. Dart says, okay, I got it. That's the reason you prefix with the late, right? So that's fine. But make sure you assign a value to it. But I broke that contact and I say I'll assign. Actually, I forgot to assign some value and I'll now print it. Again, a problem. Late variable name without initializer is definitely unassigned. So you have to assign a value to a late. So if I assign a value here, Dart will not throw any error because I am fulfilling the contract with the Dart. So I created a late variable, but before using it, I assigned this value. So always make sure when you are using late and bang operator, you're sure and you assign a value before using it. Cleared some of your doubts about Dart null safety. If it has helped, please do like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment if you have any concerns or issues. And as we have created some Dart series, please go back and watch the videos. And if you have any concerns about those videos or any issues, please do comment. Thank you.